Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of the OMG Hour Flips Tape. No, that's not what it's called.
No, you've forgotten already.
I've already forgotten the name of our show. Flipping Tables. I'm doing well today,
That's
Tycko.
much better. Flipping tables is the
Flipping
name of
Tables with the OMG Hour. Today we're going to look at a game from Games by Bicycle, and this is literally the Bicycle Playing Card Company. They have now recently gotten into creating board games because, why not? They are a board game, right? Playing cards. And we're going to be looking at a game called The Alpha. And this is a fun little game. It was just came out this year in 2020, designed by Ralph Rosario. It's a 3 to 6 player game, board game, obviously, and it takes about 20 to 45 minutes to play, although in our experience it was actually a lot less. It's a very quick game, and I found it a lot of fun to play. So Tycko, why don't you talk a little bit about what the actual game is?
So Alphas is a light strategy game, and basically each player plays a pack of wolves, and so you have within your control, you have your basic wolves that go on down on the board, and then you have six other wolves. You have one double wolf, which is two wolves howling at the moon, and 5 other wolves that you will then compete with your the other packs for food. That's basically what it is. You're taking out. You're trying to compete by placing the most wolves on each of the types of food in order to move yourself up the fed track.
So it takes place obviously in the forest, and
yes.
The main board in the alpha is essentially just a food tracker. So you have a wolf that tracks how much food you have, but and you have the near forest, which has things like your small scavenge animals, hare, beaver, that sort of thing, and then you have your deep forest, which contains things like caribou, deer, all the way up to bison and moose, for example. Yeah. And each of those are worth a different number of food. So you play through, each round has 4 different steps in the round. So you stock your food, which is playing a piece onto one of those, any one of those animals that you want to stock. Okay, so if you're going to play in the deep forest, however, it costs you 1 food. So you have
costs you resources.
It costs you a food resource, so you move your tracker down 1 food. If you want to stock in the near forest, it doesn't cost you anything, but you don't get as many. It's not as high a reward at the end. Once everybody has placed all of their wolves, you go into the chase phase.
Chase.
Right. The wolf that has the most number of wolves in that particular area on that particular animal rolls the die associated to it and wins that many food. Okay. And
right. They are the dominant species, so they will then get the most amount of food out of that.
If there is a tie, you then have to either fight or share the food, and there is a token that allows you to flip. And you don't know what your opponent is going to do. You decide in private what you're going to do, and you show if you're going to fight for that food or share it. If you share it, you share that food amongst whatever number the die is. If you decide to fight, then both of you basically get nothing.
Yeah, you get
right.
And actually, if there's a third player.
It's 3 to 6 players. There is a third player.
Yeah, so if there's a third player on that space as well, and 2 people have fought over it, the remaining players will split up that food.
Right,
but if the 2 dominant species fight, and you also end up with an injury, so you lose those wolves for a round.
You lose the wolves for a round. You are instantly injured. However, if you share, then you split it, and then you resolve that. You do as you do all that conflict, you resolve it, and then you collect the number of food, advance your token on the board, and move to the next round. There are 5 weeks in the game, and you repeat that process 5 times. And it's very, very simple. The person or the wolf pack that has the most is higher on the board, basically, the most number of food wins the game. It's that simple to play. And I found, Tycko, it's very quick. It's not
extremely fast.
They describe it as a light strategy game, and it really is a light strategy. Now, and I say that because you do have to think about, where should I go? Like, do I really want to fight over this food, or do I really want Tycko to take the deer? It's like, no, I don't. I think I want to fight Tycko for the deer, that sort of thing, right? Or,
Yeah.
it's do I want to take, there's one great one called the livestock. There can only be one wolf in that region. Okay, one wolf, not one wolf per pack, one
Yeah.
wolf.
One wolf total. The first one there grabs that.
The problem is the die on that has, out of 6 sides, there are 3 letter D, which means dead. Which means if you roll a D and you have a 50% chance of rolling a D, your wolf is dead and out of the game. But the reward is even higher. It has the most reward of all of them. It could be up to 12 food, just like that.
Yeah. And that would be absolutely key. If you hit that 12, you take a huge lead, but huge risk. And
yes.
I love that you went for the livestock
Every round.
Times? Every round. How many wolves died, Sean?
I think actually it was on the 3rd round, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, I went for the livestock, and I lost every single time. So by the time the game was done, I only had like 3 wolves out of my 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, I do want to mention, however, this is a 3 to 6 player game.
Yeah.
However, Tycko and I did invent, successfully I might add, a 2-player game. And all we did was take a third, we basically pretended there was a 3rd player at the table. Okay. And each round we took turns placing the 3rd player token. And what we found, each of us agreed that what we did was we played that as if it were ourselves. We didn't play saying, I'm going to make this guy lose. No, I played. So in this particular game that you're watching, the yellow was the other player. So I played the yellow as if it were myself. What would I do? And then Tycko in turn did the same thing on his next round. He would play the yellow as if, how would I play if I were yellow? And it worked well. Wouldn't you agree?
I think it worked well. I think that the 2 ways that you can either do it is again, you're trying to play the yellow and you're each trying to have that as successful as possible. The other option is to play that 3rd player as a block. So you'll take your turn to try to do it, and then you'll use the 3rd player as sort of cannon fodder. It's like, well, I don't want to waste any of my wolves going after the caribou that Sean seems to be really active on, but I'm going to shift some of these yellow ones there to block you from getting all of the food, and I felt that worked really well.
Actually. But again, you're playing it as if it's yourself.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
What we found too is in the 2-player version, when it came to either fighting or sharing, it became random. So we would take the yellow player's token and just rotate it in our hand blindly, and then drop it. So we wouldn't actually know. I wouldn't be, because I might be going up against the yellow.
Right.
So Tycko would take the yellow one, rotate it in his hand, and just drop it randomly, and then I would take whatever I chose, and that would be the result. And it worked well. So there is a pseudo 2-player version of this game that we invented, and we give that to you for free.
Yes, I really had a lot of fun playing this. It is because it's such a quick game it's very quick to set up, very easy to get to the table. Yeah. And it was fun. It was fun to play. I felt a good deal of satisfaction when I landed I'm going to get that deer and that's going to be mine. And you're playing back and forth and until the one person gives up and says, well, I don't have anything more to put out there, so I'm just going to give up on the deer. Yeah,
exactly. Great game. Again, it's called The Alpha. It's from Bicycle Games. It just came out this year, and I believe it retails. It's not super expensive. I think it's $40 maybe.
$29.99 US.
$30 US.
I don't believe it's been released into Canada yet. So there is no. I don't have a price on it Canadian, but I'm going to guess $35 to $40 Canadian
probably,
when it hits.
It is a fun game. I personally really like it. I highly recommend it. It's very quick, like Tycko said. It's quick to get to the table. Quick rounds. It doesn't take a lot to really think about what am I going to do, because while everyone else is playing, you can just decide I'm going to go there. Or if I see Tycko winning on the deer or the caribou, I'm like, well, I don't want him to potentially get 8. I want to block him and maybe fight for it.
It's very 4 instead of 8.
Right. It does have that light strategy, but it's not difficult strategy. It's very quick, very easy to decide what to do. And I love it. I think it's great. So I highly recommend The alpha.
Absolutely.
Any
100%.
last words, Tycko?
I really enjoyed it. I love the look and feel of the art on the little creature cards and stuff like that. The little wolf meeples are just fun.
They
I
are,
just
yeah.
I enjoy this game quite a bit. It was a fun quick game, and if you've got, again, you can play with two to six.
2 to 6 if you take our 2-player revision. One last thing is I like how each animal that you're stalking has their own die specific to that animal,
Yes.
and also the meeples or the wolves are wooden meeples. They're not cheap plastic. They're nice wooden meeples, so it's got quality to it. The board is thick. It's got a really good quality again to it. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite sit flat when you open it up. It's got a little bit of a warp to it because of how it folds. It
Yeah.
doesn't take away from gameplay because, again, the big board is literally just a points tracker. The main game itself takes place on those thick cardboard cutouts around the board. And again, those are also thick and really high quality. Overall, it's a very high quality game, and
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. So check it out, the Alpha from Bicycle Games. That is it for us. You can follow us on Twitter. I am Zientane everywhere.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place, and check out our Instagram. It's Flipping Tables with OMGs. So Flipping Table W OMG Nexus.
OMG Nexus? Or it's Flipping
Isn't it?
Tables with OMG.
Oh, with OMG. Well,
Yeah,
there you
there
go.
you
I
go.
added extra letters.
There you go. Check us out. We're always posting new things about board games. So thanks for joining us. We'll be back later with another game. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.